The coronavirus COVID-19 has become self-explanatory. We don't need to know anyone. Does everyone know what COVID means? What does corona mean? The world experienced lockdowns from 2019 to 2022. As recorded in document 6, 9 out of 10,000 people died from corona, but the actual number could be 15,000. There are people who have not been officially diagnosed with corona but have had it. And the number of infections has exceeded 1,000,000. We're talking about 768,000 people. It was also recorded in the documents that he was infected with corona. Of course, it was a very major global disaster, and the world will not forget it easily. Now, corona has reappeared after a period of calm. It reappeared again on the 23rd and on the 25th in the first, but now it is in a wave. From Asia, a wave that seems on the surface important. The return came from Hong Kong, Singapore and Hong Kong, where the rate of positive samples rose from 1.7% in mid-March to 11.4% currently. Last week, they reported the death of 31 corona cases. Of course, these are large numbers as the percentage rises from 1 in an hour from 10 to 11. And 0.4, you are talking about a 5-fold or 6-fold doubling of the case in just 2 months. Of course, this is a very big thing. Singapore, the cases that have not been infected, which means that corona was recorded in careful analysis, have reached 14,000 cases and deaths. And this is also a very large number. The increase in it increased from week to week by 28%. The first week in May and the week that saw the difference between them, 28% increase in their hospitalization rate. In Singapore, increased by 30% for corona cases. The health authorities in both countries said that this was due to immunodeficiency over time. Corona ended approximately in 2022, which means that the cases after that remained few, so we sat for 3 years, and immunity decreases with time, in addition to the new mutant that appears. Contagious spread. The coronavirus has many variants, which means to me 1,000, a bit, a gamma, a delta, and a micron. Delta notified them. Praise be to God, what exists now is Mahosh Delta. What exists now is Frent, or a mutant of the LL, which is spreading rapidly, but its strength is weaker than the strength of the virus. The original LL, the new mutant, is descended from a strain. I mean, we heard about it before. It was widespread in the winter of 2023, and it also caused problems in a number of countries, Britain and other countries, but it means it is fair to reappear, as we said from the Asia Gate. Caused a global panic. The first time you remember the word corona, it always evokes everything that was corona. Corona has spread terribly in almost the world. There is no country in the world that has not entered corona, and the number of deaths, meaning the number of deaths, is very huge. Every family has sorrows in one form or another from corona, from here or there. I mean, we have all heard about people who died from corona, so of course there are painful memories. However, our brothers in dealing with this issue, dealing with corona that appeared in the sunset of East Asia, we take in our minds some important considerations. First of all, the world, thank God, has largely acquired immunity from the corona that came to it at this great global level. It has immunity. Of course, immunity decreases with time, and mutants may not suppress its immunity, the same immunity as the first virus, but in all cases, immunity prevents the disease. From some people, symptoms are reduced in other people. I mean, corona may come to him, but as a result, he has immunity, and even if this immunity is weak, his symptoms will be less, and therefore the fulfillment rate will be lower. This is the first thing. If I have a kind of reassurance, I will not scratch the issue by roll, because in the end I am the one who has immunity that exists in the world. The second need is vaccination. There are very many people. I took the vaccination. 1,000 people worldwide took the vaccination, and therefore this vaccination also weakens, reduces, or prevents it, depending on. Vaccination type depends on the variant present. From infection with the virus or from the effects of the virus, The third important need is that the new mutant that appears, which is from gene 1, is weaker than the first. Mouth, even if it spreads while stealing the spread, right? But even if its power spreads to cause serious complications that lead to death, much less than the first virus, and therefore, God willing, the risks will not be great. Also, the fourth point is important. There is experience now. Experience at hospitals, at doctors, at people, a community, meaning it is now able to deal with this issue. If it happens, will we still learn the mechanisms of cooperation with an epidemic like corona? No, thank God. So many people took the background. And the last thing I say is that the World Health Organization has not yet announced the issue, which means that the issue is not under the control of or within the two countries, within Hong Kong, Singapore, etc. It doesn't spread. Otherwise, it will be announced, the global health. And if you have 3 degrees in advertising, a first degree, a second degree, and a third degree, according to the strength of the epidemic, she has not announced any of them. This means that the issue is still under the news that is spreading today. Who doesn't scare us? It contains general recommendations. The first thing is that we deal with the issue calmly, without tension. In order for me to know how to think well, I must deal with a kind of calmness. The second thing is, care remains for general cleanliness. Does this mean that we have always had an epidemic or not? I must maintain general hygiene and wash my hands. Dealing with detergents means a lot in practical way here. I care about myself, my family, and the society in which I live. This is a very natural thing. Public cleanliness and not overcrowding in crowded places. I no longer have many closed places without good ventilation, as this may lead to reducing the effects of the problem if it occurs. And of course, we advise that anyone who is exposed to symptoms similar to corona should go to the doctor, especially if he is from. People highly susceptible to complications include those who are immunocompromised. It is not one of the causes of chronic diseases, such as the elderly, such as young children. It is strong. Any extent of the state has a sore throat, severe with coughing, with loss of the sense of smell and loss of the sense of taste, with diarrhea, things that we have kept from the symptoms of corona. These symptoms appeared in someone who has any immune deficiency for any reason for a long time. You seek a doctor, do not wait for what? In the final stages.